everybody, it's Kia. Welcome back to my channel. So today I thought we would go ahead and go through the July 2020 debt payoff tracker. As you can tell, I do have everything filled out already. I really just kind of wanted to share with you guys how the month went, what we had set up for that month, and what changes we'll be making going forward into the month of August. So, if you are new to our channel, thank you guys so much for stopping by. We have actually been on a debt-free journey for a little while. We officially started at the end of 2018, and we really dove in and kind of reset everything this last May. We went through, we relisted out all of our debt. We've gone through, we've changed up the way we budget, and we're really just trying to kind of shake things up a lot so that hopefully we can get out of our comfort zone, really focus in on our debt and be more intentional with our money so that we can achieve being debt-free, hopefully sooner than later. So that has kind of been our journey so far. If you are returning to my channel, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate all the support. Give a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Let me know you're there. Thank you guys so much for all the support. But let's go ahead and dive in really quick. I don't want to take too much of your time up, but it is a pretty big list. So I'm just kind of going to glaze over it and talk about what happened for the month, point out a few areas, and talk about what we're changing for the month of August and where we ended up at the end of the month. So, really quick before we do dive in, I just wanted to say, so all of these payments are actually minimum payments except for this one right here. I have every single account set up on auto pay for their minimum payments. So I'm not really going to talk about the payments a whole lot. I do budget for them in the paycheck tracker. And when they come out, they just come out for whatever the minimum payment that was required for the month. So that is kind of how that's set up. If for some reason the credit card company itself will not let me do a minimum payment, then on auto pay, then what I do is I set up a reoccurring bill inside of my online bank, and the bank will pay that for me. So that is kind of how I've simplified making sure everything gets paid. So most of these are going to be minimum payments. So let's go ahead and dive in. The iPhones, we are starting to make pretty good progress on these. I think that we're going to try and focus on those next after we get a few things in August taken care of. Same thing with the Affirm 4 loan. That one's a really low balance, but the payment's pretty high. So that's going to be the next targeted item that we will be focusing on for August. Now the attorney fees and the medical, we're not doing anything with those at the moment. That's why there's no change. And then we get into the credit cards. So as you can tell, we do have the minimum payment. Here's the interest. And some of these we're making just a tad bit of progress, not a whole lot, but a little bit. And then there's a couple cards on here, like the Citi card. It looks like that one was actually used. Credit ones, those ones are my husband's, and the Best Buy and the Discover. Those ones all had charges in addition to the minimum interest payments. So for August, hopefully by the end of the month, we'll be done. We've been trying to log into any online account that we would normally spend money through, and we are unlinking these cards, and we're trying to shove them away in the drawers so that they don't get used. So that is one area that we are really focusing on, which is why I like to see that increase column so that I can tell if there were any charges on there or not, and then I can kind of point it out when me and my husband have our little budget meeting. So that's the point of that column. Now, Capital One Visa. This one right here is the one that we were working on trying to pay off. And if you watched our July budget videos, you know that the end of July was a crazy couple weeks for us. We had issues with the dogs getting out of the fence, and so we finally decided that we were going to need to purchase one of those kind of in-ground electric fences to go around the regular fence, kind of like a perimeter. And sadly, that fence was more than what we had in our emergency fund. We have a baby emergency fund. It's only $500 at the moment. We are working on trying to figure out how to build that up, but right now we're trying to focus on increasing cash flow and paying off some of these other items so that we can increase that emergency fund and we can hopefully adjust the budget a little bit and get away from little charges and stuff. So that is kind of what we've been focusing on. So instead of depleting the emergency fund and still having to charge onto the credit card anyway, we decided that we would go ahead and put it on the credit card because that is a rewards card, and then we would just cash flow the remaining balance over the next couple paychecks. So by the time you're watching this video now, we have actually paid off this balance here. Sadly, we didn't get it taken care of in July, but we did get it taken care of in August. So we have met our goal there, and we worked really, really hard trying to pay this card off. We paid $1,290 towards this card trying to get it paid off that month. Trying to get it paid off in July. So the rest of them, like I said, they're just minimum payments, and then most of them are interest. There are a couple that did have some charges on there, so I kind of pointed those ones out already, and we are working on trying to unlink them. And then one thing that we did do to kind of change things so that hopefully my husband doesn't feel like he needs to charge on these is I'm trying to budget in some allowance money so that he can have some fun money that he can just, go do whatever with, and that he can kind of be in charge of, and he doesn't feel like we're so strapped for cash. So we did open up a second checking account where I can transfer money into, and that will be just his account, and then that way he can get some little things here and there, So that is one area that we are trying to work on. Getting down to the very bottom of here, we get to our loans. Now, as you can tell, the interest is quite a bit different between the two auto loans. This one I think is at like a 3% or so, and I don't even know what the Prius is at. I don't even want to look at what the interest rate is, but that's why they do have such a big difference. Plus, the Prius loan is a little newer than the Highlander loan, so I'm guessing that plays a factor in there as well, but that is why the interest is different. We've been able to make a little bit of headway on those. And then the student loans, most of them have been on forbearance due to COVID, but the UHIA one didn't actually give me that option right away. So what I did was I just kept making the minimum payment on this one, which is sadly all interest, but I have been making that payment every month. The Navient and the Nailnet, we have not been making those payments. They automatically went on forbearance. So we've been taking advantage of those, and that's how we were able to pay so much towards that Capital One card, because I was applying an extra $285 from the student loans to that card for July. So, and then down at the very, very bottom, we have that little straggling Chase card that we ended up adding back to the tracker a couple months ago. So at the beginning of the month, we started out with $104,908.46. We had total increases for $1,628.40. We made total payments, including that big Snowball payment, for $31,0672, which dropped us down to $101,650.65 on the debt that we are actively trying to pay off. Like I said, these are all the items that we really want to have paid off in the next couple of years. And then after we get these ones paid off, we will start working on the other two big loans. I really didn't want to see the big balance all the time. I wanted to see something a little smaller, more manageable, more for that kind of motivation factor, I guess. So now that we've kind of cleaned up enough lines on here and we paid off a few things, I decided I'd go ahead and add on the Nailnet and the Loan Care to this tracker just so that I can see in total kind of where we're at. So like I said, we are not actively trying to pay these ones off, and I don't include those in our debt totals every month, mainly because I think that they're kind of unreasonable at the moment, and I wanted that extra motivation factor. So now that one hasn't changed. If anything, they probably capitalize interest on there. I haven't even logged into the account because I don't really want to see what the balance is. But at the end of April, it was $116,890. When I do make payments, they all go to interest. So that balance should be the same. Probably here in another month or two, I'll go ahead and log in And when I start to make payments again on that, I'll see what the new balance is because they've probably capitalized that interest on there. And then for our home loan, we have $99,352.67 at the beginning of the month. And that gave us total debt at the beginning of the month at $321,151.13. Including the interest charge on the loan care, we ended up paying $1,969.92 in interest and charges on the cards. We made total payments for $3,641.25, which leaves us an ending balance of $317,731. So we are making pretty good progress. If we think back about our April debt confession video where we had gone through and filled out all of our debts, when we started at the beginning of 2019 with the items that we had been paying off and we listed all the current balances, we were right around 340. So we've paid off a lot of debt just in the last year and a half. But most of the progress has actually come since May. We were able to make a big dent in our debt since May. So that is our debt snowball update. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. I would love to connect with you going forward. And as always, thank you guys so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. And we will see you again soon with another budgeting video. Have a good week, you guys.